You're up.
I'm Michael, an alcoholic. My sobriety date is 11/26/93. I have a sponsor named Greg S. and my grand sponsor sitting right there, Richard B. And they both saw me walk in these rooms. And I'm one of those lucky ones that walked into these rooms and I haven't walked out. And I don't know why. I don't have that answer. You'll find it up there, I think. My father was an alcoholic, and I don't blame him. He abandoned us when my parents divorced, pretty much didn't see him. Growing up, I always had what I wanted, but I didn't have what I wanted, because it was never enough. Should have known I was addictive compulsive at a very young age. I remember it was just before Christmas, my grandmother made 2 sheets of brownies. They went to the store, the whole family did, and I sat with those 2 trays and I ate 1 full tray of brownies. And when they came home, I was broken out in welts and had to take me to the doctor. And, I have an addictive compulsive behavior. And I got a million war stories I could tell you. I could tell you about not being able to stop to drink. She was the problem. He was the problem. Somebody else was the problem. I could tell you about traveling with a cartel and getting busted with 2 kilos of cocaine. I could tell you all these great stories. And I ended up right here. I ended up walking, actually, I hadn't slept for a week. At that point in time, my drink of choice was VO. I love VO. I could drink it all day. If I drove up to your house and I didn't have a tall glass of VO between my legs on ice, somebody thought something was wrong with me. I did not drive without drinking, up until the day I quit. I was addicted I was freebasing cocaine for a long time, and I went to the Mardi Gras in New Orleans in 1990. I found meth and I thought I was cured. I was a great cure. After not sleeping for weeks at a time, and I went to work every single day. I ran a guy's grading company. And I came home on Thanksgiving Day, and I don't know what happened to Thanksgiving, but I hadn't slept. And somebody gave me a joint laced with hash oil, and I just hallucinated. And that's what brought me into the hospital. I went into Los Encinas Hospital. And I have every girlfriend I had, both wives, first 2 wives. I had a therapist. His name was Thurman Couch, and he was in Pasadena. And I called him up and I said, I need help. And he always used to ask me if I needed help. And that day on Thanksgiving, I called him up and I said, I need help. I'm fucked up. I can't stop. So he called this guy Jojo in the hospital, if you remember Jojo. And they put it on a conference call with me, and because of the holiday weekend, he said, you need $3,000 to get in. I don't know about any of you. I didn't have $3,000 to get in anywhere. So I hung up the phone, and by the grace of God, here's miracle number 1. My sister called me from Hawaii and asked me how I was Thanksgiving. And I said, sis, I'm fucked up again. And she went through all the drug bust and the whole bullshit and the time in jail. And I said, I'm fucked up again, and I can't get into the hospital because I don't have a credit card that's got $3,000 left on it, and I don't have $3,000. But I have health insurance. And she said, let me call you back. And they put up their credit card. They called me back. Jojo and Mr. Couch called me back that night. And he said, come on in. You need to come in right now. I said, well, wait a minute. I have something I got to do tomorrow. I'll be in tomorrow. And that was the 25th of November. It was actually Thanksgiving Day. And I went and did what I had to do, and I actually went to that hospital. And I was scared shitless. I walked in there hip, slick, and cool. I weighed 128 pounds. I had holes in all my pants. My shirts were all ragged. I thought I looked good. My hair was down to my ass. And changed my life. And I was scared shitless. I met a lot of people there. And I remember my first meeting. And I know this is an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And They say you go to CA to get laid, you go to AA to get sober. And I went to a Cocaine Anonymous meeting on Sunday morning, and I was in the room, and everybody sat in a circle. And I remember raising my hand if they asked for any newcomers, and I raised my hand and I said, "I'm fucked up. My name's Michael, and I don't know what to do." And that's the first time I ever asked for help. I was 42 years old. And, you know, it evolved. While I was in there, they suggested I get a sponsor. I picked out the fattest guy there was because I was skinny and I hated fat people. And this is a true story. His name was Randy Wilson. And, you know, I started to talk to Randy as he came every Wednesday. He was on a Wednesday panel. And I ended up doing that panel for 9 years. And I ended up with Randy, and I love that guy. Without him, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And he passed away when I was 2 years sober, and it broke my heart. It just right out of my chest. You know, he just little stupid things he'd tell me. When I got out, he'd say, "Look, just go to 3 meetings a week," because I wouldn't go to a meeting near my house in West Covina because I didn't want anybody to know I was a drug addict and an alcoholic. But yet my whole neighborhood had a petition written, it was in the newspaper, to run me out of fucking town. And I have that article at home to this day. But I didn't want anybody to know who I was. Go figure that one out. So I'd go to, he'd tell me, I want you to meet 3 people, just meet 3 people. Probably started out at 2, meet 3 people. Pretty soon it was meet 4 people, get 1 phone number. And this is the way, you know, if you told me to go to a meeting every day of the week, I'd tell you, go fuck yourself. And I started out doing 2-3 meetings a week, and I'll never forget it. This is the best part of Randy. I got out of Los Encinas Hospital. I did the 28-day program. You're in there 21 days. You do the 7-day outpatient deal. I'm going to back up real quick. They called me up to the office on Monday. I went in there on Friday. Called me up to the office on Monday and told me I didn't have health insurance. I told him, what the fuck? I ran a guy's grading company. He paid me $100,000 a year to run his company. And they canceled my insurance, I found out. And they gave me the option to stay or pay for it. And that was the God gift number 2. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I stayed there. And I never went back to that job. Fuck him, get your truck. I'm a pretty arrogant, stubborn prick, if you want to know the truth, at that point in time. And I learned that my sobriety was more important than money, prestige, arrogance. I have not. Who the fuck she is, who the hell she isn't, that's not important. I needed to find this guy. This guy that I knew was a good person at one time, he disappeared. He's gone. Where was I? I get lost when I ramble. Anyway, I went in. I go to this meeting. I raise my hand. I'm going to meetings. Oh, Randy and his phone call. I call. Randy tells me when I get out. He says, "Call me at 11 o'clock tomorrow." Well, Michael's busy. He called him at 2. "Hey, Randy, how you doing?" "Good. How you doing?" "Good. Call me tomorrow at 11. Click. Next day, I call Randy at 4. I call Randy at 3 the day after. And I get the same shit. The guy hangs up to me. "I'm good. How are you?" Click. By accident, and I truly mean by accident, I called this guy probably on day 7, wondering what the fuck kind of sponsor did I pick. I called him at 11 o'clock, and the guy talked to me for an hour and a half. And during that conversation, he said, did you understand why I told you to call me at 11 o'clock? "No." "See if you could follow a little direction." Ding. You know, you can listen to all the cliches in here you want, but they're true if you listen. You can go to 100 frickin' meetings in these rooms, and you may not like 60 of them, but the other 40 you're going to like, and you're going to like what you hear, and you're going to pick up a piece that you can carry with you and take home and say, "That's fucking me." And we all took a newcomer's chip, every guy that's got time in here. And I'll never forget when I got it, I stood up and took my 9-month chip. I was in Los Encinas, And a friend of mine, Dana, came up. I just lost another court case. I was pissed off. And he said, hey, come on with me. Let's go over this meeting over on Huntington Drive in Del Mar and San Bernardino. Fuck, all right. So we go over there. They go through the chip thing. They get to the 9-month deal. And they go, anybody for 9 months? I go up and I took that chip and I looked at it and I said, I don't know why I'm fucking here and I don't know why I'm sober. And I sat down. That's the way I felt that day. You know, and I learned that in these rooms, you're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have some major ups and downs. It's how you deal with those ups and those downs that'll get you through. I think they're right behind me, one side or the other. You know, I've been through a couple of major lawsuits, and actually more than a couple. I've been in business since I was 24. I've gone broke 3 times, blah, 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 blah. And the toughest one that I went through was in 2003. In 2002, I backed over and killed my own son in a loader. He's my stepson. And the only way I got through that is with God. I know it's an accident. I can't explain it. I don't ever want to try. And I remember sitting in my house, and I don't know how long I was sitting in my house. I sat in a fucking chair. I don't know if I took a shower. I don't know if I didn't take a shower. I don't know if I shit myself, pissed myself. I don't remember. But I do remember my second sponsor, because my first sponsor passed away. Cowboy Bob Fields, Ron Binkier, Eddie Lopez. Those 3 came and picked me up and brought me to this meeting when it was in Las Encinas. I don't know how many times they picked me up and brought me to this meeting in Las Encinas. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, I have no idea. I was numb. And I wasn't taking drugs. My brain, it just left me. I just blacked out, mentally blacked out. I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I don't know. But right here in this room, it brought me back to life. Listen to the people in here. And my wife and I got through that. We're still married. Then next week we'll be married 22 years. And you know, like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of gifts here. I'm going to tell you about the book now. That book, and they tell you to read the first 164 pages in that book. I've never read that book all the way through from start to finish. I'm a guy that'll pick something up, start reading. 3 minutes later, I'm asleep. But I have read that entire book. When I walked into these rooms, I watched a lot of people, and I got sober to have a life. I didn't get sober to live in AA. And that's me. I'm not telling you. A lot of people need more meetings than I do. Some people need less meetings than I do. I live in Prescott, Arizona, which most of you know. I'm retired. I still have a business down here. I come down and visit every now and then. But I have a life. I have a life because of this room, because of rooms like this, because I stuck my hand out, because I sponsor people, because I work the steps, because I found a God of my understanding. I am a miracle, because I was a fucking train wreck, just like a lot of you or all of you in here. Take your pick. We're all alike. We think we're unique? Bullshit. No matter what, we all have something in common. We're all alcoholics, addicts, or we're an addict. And our one common thing is you're all sitting in this damn room, whether you're on a fucking court card or you're just here on your own free will. I tried the gig on my own free will after my second wife left me. I was distraught. I was shit-faced in a bar, drove over to the AA meeting in Covina, went inside, you could smoke in there. The motherfuckers gave me a book. The fuck am I going to do with this? I walked outside when it took a break. It was drizzling. I got in my car with a book. I opened my car door with a book, threw the fucking book out, closed my car door, drove off, and kept drinking. And that was me, you know. Train wreck. But I found these rooms. And this November, should we stay sober, my daughter, who you guys, a lot of you know I prayed for 20 fucking years. She'll be 10 years sober and I'll be 30 in the same month. That is God's gift. You will see me in November because I'm coming down here to take a cake with her. You know, if you can find a God of your understanding and you can live a somewhat normal life, these two things will give them to you right there. Believe me. I'm no different than any one of you in here. I might have taken a different train to get here, but we're all wrecked. You can be fixed. Thanks for letting me share.